We are down to the last round of 16 in the 33rd edition of the Total Energies Africa Cup of Nations currently happening in Cameroon, and it has been quite an interesting tournament so far with a lot of surprises. Few teams that we expected to progress to the last round of 16, the likes of Algeria, the defending champions, and the Black Stars of Ghana being knocked out in the first round, and a few surprises as well, looking at the likes of Malawi and Comoros making it for the first time in the last round of 16. My name is Washington Sibanda, aka Marasta. This is the third episode of the Siqalo podcast. With me is Grazo Gramandebele, the Las Palmas coach, to help me to share and also discuss further on how this AFCON is unfolded so far. Ndebele, it has been quite an interesting tournament so far. What's your take?
A pleasant day to our viewers, and thank you again, Mr. Washi. It has indeed been a tournament full of surprises. We've seen a lot of teams, the big guns going down, and the least teams which we expected coming up. So I think it has been a superb tournament, especially for the small teams and for us as the football family, as we are seeing different ball game at the same time. So it's a tournament which is worth watching, because now it's keeping us in suspense. We just don't know what's going to happen next.
Indeed, we are in suspense, waiting to see which one will lift the big trophy come the 6th of February. Of course, in Ndebele, just looking at the Zimbabwean Warriors and Ndebele picking up their first set of points against Guinea. What a performance! And but unfortunately, we failed to make it to the last round of 16. Where did it go wrong for the Zimbabwean Warriors?
I think basically on our approach. Our approach is the one which made us find ourselves where we are. And had we gotten our tactics right and the approach perfectly, like what we did in the last game, like taking every game like it's a cup final, just like they did on the last game. Those boys, they knew what they wanted to play for, and it was all about marketing to them and proving that we are still in it and we are still a footballing nation. So I think had we taken all those two games like that, it was going to be another story at the end of the day.
So the Zimbabwean Warriors are failing to progress to the last round of 16 at the expense of Malawi, as well as Guinea, and the Senegalese progressing to the next round. And just looking at how the final group stages were like, in Group A, we had Cameroon finishing on top with 7 points, followed by Burkina Faso on 4 points, then Cape Verde finishing on 4, and Ethiopia on a point. Cameroon, Burkina Faso, and Cape Verde making it to the last round of 16. Would you say those were the teams that you thought were going to make it in the Ndebele?
I was pretty sure that Cape Verde is going to make it. But for the Burkina Faso part, I wasn't very sure. But now I think that they made it, the three of them. To me, it's no surprise.
So the Cameroonians being the hosts, obviously being one of the favorites. Then looking at Group B, we had Senegal finishing at the top there with 5 points. Guinea second with 4. So was Malawi on 4 points, and then the Zimbabwean Warriors on 3. Senegal, Guinea, Malawi progressing. Tough times for the Warriors. We live to dream again.
We just outdid ourselves. Because this group was seemingly an easy group. It was like a difficult group, but it was seemingly an easy group because everyone managed to get a point, and we managed to even get the maximum number of goals compared to the other teams. So we could score, and we couldn't concede that much. So we just outdid ourselves in this group. We had all the chance, and we could have made it. It could be us sitting on the third, but unfortunately, it never came.
So it's tough like for the Numen Mapeza boys. Looking at Group C, we had Morocco finishing on top with 7 points, Gabon on 5 points, then Comoros coming third on 3 points, then Ghana finishing also on 3 points. Comoros, the surprise package is there, joining Gabon and Morocco in the next round.
With the Ghana sitting at the bottom, I'm not that surprised. Like I had said earlier on, the squabbles which they are undergoing, so that basically affects the team as well. And their performance here wasn't that well. And Comoros making it there, wow, that's a surprise package for me. I wasn't even looking at that. In as much as I was reviewing Ghana as a struggling side, but Comoros getting there, it tells us a huge story.
So Ghana, the long drought seems to continue. Remember Ghana, they last won the AFCON in 1982, and this is the first time that they failed to progress to the last round of 16 since 2002. Then looking at Group D, we had Nigeria, the only unbeaten side so far in the tournament, finishing on top with 9 points, followed by the Pharaohs of Egypt on 6, then Sudan on 1 point, then Guinea-Bissau. Obviously, Nigeria and Egypt, we gave them that nod to qualify for the next round, and so they did. But not impressive is Egypt so far in this tournament.
Egypt has been on the back foot lately, but at least they are picking themselves up, because the victory which they had on their second game was the one which marked what they would play for in the last game. But now my major concern is with the Nigerians. Like we understand their change of coach a few weeks before, and they are still on sound. So I think the coach really struck a good chord with the players, and the character-wise which the players brought into camp. I think that's what's proving outstanding even on the field.
So the Nigerian FA making the wisest decision to appoint a new coach who has so far done so well. The Nigerians being the only unbeaten team in the tournament so far. Then in Group E, we had Ivory Coast finishing on top with 7 points. Equatorial Guinea following with 6. Then we had Sierra Leone on 2 points. Then the defending champions, that is Algeria, on 1 point. Algeria becoming the 12th defending champions to be put out in the first round. What really happened to the Algerians?
The 35th unbeaten run finally broken. They just, I'm so disappointed with them. The way they played, they never showed any character, especially in all those games. And again, we're having a surprise package, which is Sierra Leone. Playing against such teams is a bit difficult, because they just give it all. They just give all that they have. They don't have anything to lose, and I admire their fighting spirit. They fought, especially against the Ivory Coast. They fought till the end, and they eventually got to that point which managed to take them there. So I think their spirit, which they are bringing in, is going to upset even this round of 16 if some of the teams are not aware of that.
So not a good of the tournament for the Algerians, who are the defending champions after they beat Senegal by a goal to nil in the last edition of the AFCON. Looking at the final group, that is Group F, we had Mali finishing on 7 points, Gambia also on 7, then Tunisia coming third, they won 3 points, then Mauritania, the only team in the tournament that finished without a point. Another interesting group, but Tunisia just qualifying as one of the third placed team to make it into the last round of 16. Not a good tournament for the Arab teams. And
Tunisia was just on the edge. It almost fell, because it's like Gambia and Mali, they are on point and they are on song. And for the Tunisians, it was a really hard mountain to climb. And then it's a pity for the Mauritanians. They couldn't even manage to get a single point. So that was actually the weakest of the 4 teams. So I think that's what saved Tunisia. Had it not been for Mauritania, I won't be counting them in this log.
Indeed. So the Tunisians, they have to thank their gods that they are in the last round of 16. But it's going to be very interesting to see how they are going to fare against an unbeaten Nigeria in the last round of 16. Now moving on into the exciting fixtures that everyone is waiting for, the last round of 16. The first match is going to see the Burkina Faso being ranked 11th in Africa. They're going to be playing Gabon, who are sitting on number 19 in Africa. So far, Burkina Faso, they've scored 3 and conceded 3. Whilst looking at Gabon, they've scored 4 and conceded 3. Which of these 2 teams do you think Grazo is going to progress into the last 8?
I'm pretty sure these 2 teams, they all play an open game. and it will be a pound for pound, and it's a matter of who's going to get his tactics right on the day and who's going to show character on the day. But it's an open game all the same. So, but basically, I think I'll go with the Bukanabe. I'll go with the Bukanabes.
So Grazo tipping Burkina Faso, we are being led by Traore, the Aston Villa men, to progress to the last 8. Then we come to another big one, Nigeria will be playing Tunisia. Obviously Nigeria leading the peg. They are the only unbeaten side so far. 3 games, 9 points. They've scored 6 goals and only conceded 1. They're playing a Tunisian side which seems to be struggling. And this is a repeat of the 2019 edition, 3rd and 4th playoff. Do you think Nigeria is just going to run right over Tunisia, or Tunisia, they've got something in store for the Nigerians?
If Nigeria doesn't throw a foot back, it's going to be an easy stroll for them. But they have to be wary of the Tunisians again, because they are just finding their form and they're just getting into the groove. So if they get their spot again right, they can be a menace towards the Nigerians. But if the Nigerians, they really prove to play okay, and they just keep on track, I think with the form which they have now, they can go all the way again.
So many people tipping the Nigerians to go all the way to the final. We'll wait and see whether they're going to do so, but they have to beat the Tunisians first in the last round of 16. Then we've got Guinea, also we're going to be facing Gambia. Guinea is sitting number 15 in Africa, then Gambia sitting on number 46. Obviously Guinea being led by Naby Keita, but going into this one, the Liverpool man is going to miss this one after accumulating 2 yellow cards. A huge blow for the Guineans going into this match against the Gambia.
It's a pity that Guinea won't have their captain, because he was the man, the sole man who could make them tick and who could make things happen in that midfield. He could run riot and he could do whatsoever again. So it's a matter of finding a leader who's going to step up and lead the Guineans and see if they can clean something from the Gambians. But the Gambians, again, they are not an easy side, as we saw on that log that they are sitting on the 7. So it's a bit tricky encounter again. Though I think this one I will take my money and put it on Gambia.
So Ndebele Krazo tipping Gambia. Obviously Gambia will be led by Abdou Jallow, who's sitting on 2 goals in this tournament. Then we move on to the host, that is Cameroon. Vincent Abubakar, the top goal scorer so far in the tournament, sitting on 5 goals. Cameroon are playing the Comoros. Cameroon sitting on number 7 in Africa. Then the Comoros sitting on number 38. Obviously the Comoros are stunning Ghana by 3 goals to 2. They're facing a Cameroonian side that has been playing so well in this tournament. Do you give them a chance against the Cameroonians?
Comoros is an offensive team, as they managed even to get to that end and get us goals. But now with the Cameroonians, I'm a bit weary, because their form is like they are 1 step up and then they are 1 step down again. Like I had alluded earlier on, that if they are to keep the form which they had when they dropped when they won 4-1, that was something which they could have gotten them somewhere else. But now with Cameroon having to be 1 step up and then 1 step down, especially towards their last game, I think it's gonna be tight for them, because Comoros is so offensive, and Comoros, mind you, doesn't have anything to lose when coming to this game, because for them reaching this stage is an achievement. So getting into this game with the host, they might get an edge. But I'll also put my money on Cameroon again, because they've got the home advantage, and their physicality and the way they moved, especially when offensive with Vincent Abubakar. I think if he picks up form again and he gets them those goals, he can win the matches.
So Cameroon will be counting on the likes of Vincent Abubakar and the likes of Collins Faye, who's sitting on 2 assists so far. So Cameroon, the host, they'll be playing at the Olembe Stadium in Yaoundé, where they haven't lost in 33 years. So wait to see whether that record is going to continue, or the Comoros are going to break that record. Then we're going to have Mali playing Equatorial Guinea. Obviously Mali, they haven't even won this tournament, but finishing first in Group F. They're playing in Equatorial Guinea side that broke that 35 unbeaten streak of Algeria. Mali versus Equatorial Guinea. What's your take there, Grazo?
Equatorial Guinea means business. They are a respecter of no teams. They proved it, and I'm sure they still want to keep going. But now Mali is also on sound, and if they continue with that form which they have, this is going to be an exciting match as well. It's a bit tricky for me to choose a side, but I think Mali can progress now.
Obviously, Mali, they are the favorites. Equatorial Guinea, of course, will also want to come good. They will also want to continue from where they left after stunning the Algerians. Then we have got Senegal, the number 1 ranked team in Africa so far. They're going to be playing at 14th place. That is Cape Verde. Obviously, Cape Verde, you have always chipped them. This is the second time that they've progressed to the last round of 16 after progressing also in 2013. But they are facing a Senegal side that is yet to concede. What's your take?
I think with Senegal, like I had always said, it's a strong team on paper. But if those stars, they don't click and they don't come to the party, then it's just a paper team. But with the Cape Verde, I've been following them for some time. That's why I've been tipping them. And the way they play, the compactness which they have, and the fighting spirit which they pose. We've got Rodriguez. If he keeps things going, I think they can manage to get to the Senegalese spine. But now the problem with this match is, like, if the Senegalese strike a balance, especially on their spine, they will prove effective. But now the kind of soccer which they've been playing lately, it hasn't been that influential, especially from the group stages. To me, it hasn't been that the Senegal, which with the type of names which they have, should be playing. So I think Cape Verde can even upset this one if Senegal comes the way they played the group stages. I think Cape Verde can upset this one also.
So the Senegalese yet to concede, but they've only scored a goal, just one goal, that late penalty by Sadio Mane against Zimbabwe. But we have seen it happening in other tournaments. We saw the Portuguese team, Portugal, going all the way to lift the Euros after having drawn all their matches in the group stages. Wait to see whether Senegal are going to give a more improved performance against the Cape Verde. Then we have got the big one. Grazo, it's the Ivory Coast playing Egypt. Ivory Coast sitting on number 10 in Africa, facing the Pharaohs of Egypt, who are sitting on number 6. The Egyptian coach was saying that Mohamed Salah is under a lot of pressure. Salah yet to find that form that has made him one of the best players in Africa. Egypt are playing Ivory Coast. Do you give the Egyptians a chance against the Ivory Coast?
I think they can take the match to the Ivorians, especially if they use that form of Salah. I think the name on itself causes a lot of havoc in the field of play. You have him there, and then I think everyone will just be wanting to take care of Salah, make sure that he doesn't play, and we just need one player, 1 or 2 players to rise up to the occasion and fill up his boots. Because even looking at all these games, the stars haven't been performing fully. So I think that's the cause. Everyone is just targeting, this is the star man. So if we have someone, 1 or 2 players filling up the boots of Mohamed Salah and lifting up the flag for them, I think they will pose a threat to the Ivorians. But now the Ivorians, they are a compact team which scores for fun. And they've been on form lately with their last game going up wide. So I think it's going to be an open match for them. I'm not ruling out Egypt as well, because the Ivorians just have to go through Hegazi. I think he's been defending pretty well. Like now, he has been a solid man at the back. So it's a really threat. But the Ivorians, they've got all the attack which they have, and their arsenal is so perfectly fine.
So the Ivorians will be led by Pepe as well as Casey, the AC Milan men. But for the Egyptians, they'll want to progress to the quarterfinals. Remember, in the last tournament, they were knocked out in the last round of 16 by South Africa. Then in the last round of 16 matches, we'll see Morocco, who are sitting second in the African rankings, playing Malawi. We are sitting on number 35. Obviously, Malawi still representing Southern Africa. I'm sure many of us will be, many of the Southern African fans will be tipping Malawi to upset Morocco. But it's always going to be difficult. But the likes of Capatino Mango, the Orlando Pirates men, those are the players that will need to come to the party to help Malawi to at least try and get something against Morocco.
I'm beginning to like Malawi too. I think tactically, I'm loving especially their second halves. Tactically, their tactical approach towards the second half, it's a really changed approach. And the players, they are hungry, they are going for it. We've got Cabatino Mango, who can run riot, and we've got also their top man Mubaya. I think those guys, they can score goals for Malawi. And Malawi is proving a threat now because they're playing as a team. These are the teams which we're talking about, which they've got nothing to lose. Them progressing, it's a bonus, but they're just playing to make an impact. And I believe taking them to this game against Morocco, they're going to make an impact. But Morocco is not an easy side again. They have got a lot of tactics. We've been watching them, especially if you give them the lead. You don't want to give Morocco the lead if you're playing against them because you roll all the day. So I think Malawi just have to be organized defensively, and they just have to continue with the run which they were doing, and at least make sure that they are the ones to first score the Moroccans, because the minute the Moroccans score, it's going to be hard for them, because these guys, they are popularly known for even the time wasting antics, and also they can do everything which they can to make sure that they gain these 3 points. But again, I think I will rally behind Malawi.
So Grazo running behind Malawi, even though Malawi snatched that victory against the Zimbabwean Warriors. So wait to see which of these teams are going to progress to the last 8. Just to go through again the fixtures again in the last round of 16, we're going to see Burkina Faso playing Gabon, then Nigeria will play Tunisia, then Guinea will play Gambia, Cameroon, the hosts, will face Comoros, Mali will play Equatorial Guinea, Senegal playing Cape Verde, then the big one, Ivory Coast versus Egypt, then last but not least, Morocco playing Malawi. Then they will just moving on to an interesting one. We saw Salima Mukasanga, 35-year-old female referee from Rwanda, becoming the first woman to officiate in the African Nations Cup. What does that mean for the girl power? What does that mean in terms of women want to take refereeing as a profession?
I think it's a huge encouragement for the ladies. I think it was a sign that what men do, women can also do, and the equality they were given such a match at a huge spectacle, and you're posing okay. I think she refereed well, and I'm sure it's a challenge to our upcoming referees, and those ones who want to take up refereeing as a profession. I think now it proves that women also can do it. What men can do, women can do as well.
So Mukasanga there officiating so well, and she was not shy to show those cards, dishing out 6 yellow cards in that match between Zimbabwe and Guinea. So this is now the special segment that we call the fan zone, where we get to hear what you, the fans, think in regards to the Africa Cup of Nations. Just to go through a few messages that we have received so far. The first one being Viti, one of our regular supporters, one of our regular followers. He says Nigeria seem like the team to beat this tournament. Obviously, Nigeria seem like the team to beat this tournament. 3 games at 9 points so far. They will be playing Tunisia in the last round of 16. Then he also says poor performances from Ghana. Such a huge disappointment from a country that had the continent's hope in their hands in South Africa 2010. Obviously, in Grazo, you touched that the squabbles that are happening within the Ghana FA could have had an impact on their performance. Then we also have Lord Cheeks. He says Mali and Ivory Coast are in with a big shout. Mali, would you say that they've got a shout? Can they go all the way, Grazo?
If they manage to pull through, pull through against Equatorial Guinea, I think they can. It's an open game. They can.
Indeed, wait to see whether Mali are going to do so. Then we've got Tabisi Kumalo. He says it has been really an unpredictable competition. However, Nigeria have shown how solid they are with good combination and teamwork. They are promising along with Ivory Coast. I can't rule out the host as well. Obviously, Ivory Coast, Nigeria, as well as the host Cameroon. Those are the 3 teams that look like they really want to go for the big one.
Indeed, they are. But again, like I said, it's been a tournament of surprises. I'm not overwriting any surprise again, especially with these teams, the Cape Verde, the Comoros. I'm not overriding them. I think they can upset this, and we're going to have a different tournament all the same, a different final all the same.
So a tournament full of surprises. Then the Comoros, obviously being the underdogs, they might fancy themselves going all the way. Who knows? Because anything can happen. This is football. Then we have got a Penguin. He says, I'm putting my money on Nigeria and Ivory Coast for the final. Do you share the same sentiments? Nigeria, Ivory Coast.
Ivory Coast, yes. I might be with him, and with the Nigerians. I think if Senegal gets on track, they can push all the way. But like now, as it stands, the Nigerians are the favorites, and everyone wants to beat them. They've shown that they are not easily penetrable, and I think like now, as it stands, Nigeria, yes, is seemingly going all the way. But I'm still wary of the Senegalese. If they do manage to get on track and dance the same song with the entire players and click, they can cause something else.
So Senegal, they will need to start scoring those goals, because it's those goals that win you matches. Then the last of the messages is from Polite Sochanlov. He says, now it's a do-or-die situation. I see big guns being knocked out of this tournament by the so-called small guns, because it's high time to prove themselves that they do exist, especially the ones who are reaching the last 16 for the first time. The likes of Comoros, Malawi and Gambia. Obviously, they don't have any pressure. They're the underdogs. No one gave them a chance. They find themselves in the last round of 16. Do you think going to the last round of 8, that is the quarterfinals, these are so-called small teams, they're also going to be there, or it's now going to be, it's time to separate boys from men, Grazo?
I think getting into this stage is like considering again where they are from and the route which they took. I think now calling them small guns, we are taking something away from them, because as it stands now in this round of 16, I think they've earned their right to be called the big guns. Now it's just an open game, and I believe any team can be knocked out, and it's just a one leg game. So you get your tactics right, you get your attitude right, you get your characters right on the day. You make least number of mistakes compared to your opponent, you're bound to get the victory, which is going to make you sail through. So I think we're going to see some surprise names even going forward.
So wait to see whether we're going to see some surprise names, just like what Grazo was saying. Malawi, Comoros and Gambia, obviously are the underdogs, but you've got your favorites, Nigeria, Ivory Coast, and the host, that is Cameroon. So this has been the 3rd episode of your favorite sports program, that is the Siqalo podcast. Grazo, Gramandebele, thank you so much for joining us. Exciting fixtures that we are expecting starting from Sunday, the 23rd of January. It has been a pleasure to have you, Krazo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Haji.
So this has been the third episode of the Siqalo podcast. Until we meet again in the next episode, my name is Washington Sibanda, aka Marasta. Peace.